My name is Stella, I'm 35 years old, and last week was supposed to be the happiest day for my little girl Lily. She was turning 8, and we had planned the perfect unicorn-themed birthday party. As a single mum for 3 years now, I pour everything into making special moments for her. When Dad called claiming the entire family had the flu, I had my doubts. But nothing prepared me for what I would discover on social media days later. If you've ever had family let you down, leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to hear what happened next in this family betrayal that changed everything. Growing up in Meadowbrook, a small town where everyone knew each other, family was everything to me. My parents, George and Martha, raised the 3 of us with traditional values in our modest 2-story home on Maple Street. My sister Amanda was 2 years older, always the golden child with her perfect grades and accomplishments that made our parents beam with pride. Then there was my younger brother Jack, 4 years my junior, who somehow managed to navigate family dynamics without attracting too much attention. From early on, I could feel the difference in how my parents treated us. Amanda could do no wrong. When she became class president, my parents threw a party and invited the entire extended family. When I made the varsity volleyball team as a freshman, I got a quick good job at dinner. These small differences accumulated over the years, creating an unspoken hierarchy that everyone seemed to accept except me. I met David during my 2nd year of nursing school. He was charming, ambitious, and made me feel special in ways my family never did. When we announced our engagement after a year of dating, Amanda somehow made it about her by announcing her promotion at the same family dinner. My parents spent most of the evening discussing her career trajectory rather than my upcoming wedding. Our wedding was beautiful despite the tension. David and I were truly happy for the first few years. When I became pregnant with Lily, it felt like everything was finally falling into place. The day she was born was magical. Even my parents seemed genuinely thrilled about their new granddaughter. The cracks in my marriage started appearing when Lily was around 4. David began working late, becoming distant, and growing irritated by the demands of family life. I tried everything to save our relationship, but eventually discovered he was having an affair with a co-worker named Veronica. The betrayal was devastating, but what hurt even more was my family's reaction when I filed for divorce. "Are you sure you're not overreacting?" my mother asked when I told her about the affair. "Marriage takes work, Stella. David is a good provider." My father was more blunt. "You should try to work it out. Divorce will only hurt Lily." Amanda predictably suggested that perhaps I hadn't been attentive enough to David's needs. Only Jack offered genuine support, though even he seemed reluctant to directly criticize David. The divorce was finalized when Lily was 5, and I was determined to create a stable, loving home despite being a single parent. What I didn't expect was how quickly my family would maintain their relationship with David. They invited him to family gatherings sometimes without even telling me in advance. I would arrive at Sunday dinners to find him already seated at the table with Lily running excitedly between us. "We don't want to take sides," my mother explained when I confronted her. "He's still Lily's father." While I understood the importance of maintaining civil relationships for Lily's sake, their closeness with David felt like another betrayal, especially when I learned they were spending time with Veronica too, the woman who had helped destroy my marriage. Despite these tensions, I worked hard to maintain family connections. Lily adored her cousins, Amanda's twins Taylor and Ryan, and Jack's daughter Emma. I wanted her to experience the sense of extended family I had grown up with, even if my own relationship with my parents and sister was strained. Financial struggles became a constant reality after the divorce. As a pediatric nurse, I earned enough to keep us comfortable, but there was little room for extras. Meanwhile, Amanda's husband Brian was a successful investment banker, providing them with a luxurious lifestyle in their sprawling suburban home. Even Jack, who worked in IT, seemed to be doing better financially than I was. About 2 years ago, shortly after the divorce was finalized, Brian suggested creating a family investment account. "It's a great way to build wealth together," he explained during a holiday gathering. "We all contribute what we can, and the returns benefit everyone." It seemed like a good idea at the time. My parents contributed $15,000. Amanda and Brian put in $20,000. Jack added $5,000, and I managed to invest $2,000 from my divorce settlement. The account had grown to just over $42,000, intended to help with future family needs and eventually assist with the cousins' college educations. As Lily approached her 8th birthday, I noticed the invitations to family events becoming less frequent. When we did attend, conversations would sometimes halt when I approached, or topics would quickly change. At Easter, I overheard Amanda and my mother discussing vacation plans, but they grew silent when they noticed me nearby. Just trying to figure out schedules, my mother said vaguely when I asked about it. Despite these growing tensions, I remained hopeful that we could maintain connections for Lily's sake. She would talk excitedly about playing with her cousins, innocent, to the adult complications swirling around her. That hope was what made the betrayal at her birthday party all the more painful. Planning Lily's 8th birthday began 2 months in advance. I wanted everything to be perfect for my little girl who had been through so much with the divorce. When she chose a unicorn theme, I was thrilled to create a magical day she would remember forever. "Mommy, can I have a unicorn cake with rainbow sprinkles and a golden horn?" Lily asked, her blue eyes wide with excitement as we browsed party ideas online. "Absolutely, sweetheart. This will be your most special birthday yet." I promised already, calculating how many extra shifts I would need to pick up to make it happen. I created a budget spreadsheet and picked up 3 additional night shifts at the hospital, leaving Lily with my trusted neighbour, Mrs. Jenkins. Those nights were exhausting, but the thought of Lily's joyful face made every moment worth it. 5 weeks before the party, I sent a group text to my parents, Amanda and Jack, about the date and time, Saturday, July 15th at 2:00 p.m. at our house. I mentioned we'd have a unicorn theme and asked if the kids had any food allergies I should know about. The responses were oddly delayed and vague. From Mum: "We should be able to make it, but let me check our calendar." From Amanda: "The twins are pretty busy with summer activities, but I'll try to work it out." From Jack: "Sounds fun, we'll let you know soon." After a week without definitive answers, I called my mother directly. "Mum, I need to know if you guys are coming to Lily's party. She's so excited to see everyone, especially her cousins." "Oh well, we're just not sure about our plans yet," she responded, an unusual hesitancy in her voice. "You know how summer gets, so many commitments." I found this strange since family birthdays had always been non-negotiable events in our family. When Taylor and Ryan had their birthday in March, we were expected to attend even though Lily had a recital the same day. We had to rush from one event to the other with Lily changing clothes in the car. 3 weeks before the party, I went shopping for decorations. The party supply store had a beautiful selection of unicorn-themed items, iridescent plates and cups, rainbow streamers, unicorn balloons, and a happy birthday banner with glittering letters. I spent more than planned, but justified it as an investment in Lily's happiness. "Can I help make the goodie bags, Mom?" Lily asked when I returned home with the supplies. We spent a delightful evening filling colourful bags with unicorn stickers, rainbow pencils, glitter slime, and unicorn-shaped candies. I made special bags with extra items for her cousins, knowing how much Lily wanted them to enjoy the party. "Taylor loves purple, so I put extra purple stickers in her bag," Lily said as she carefully arranged the contents. "And Ryan likes dinosaurs too, so I put a dinosaur eraser in his bag, even though it's not unicorns." Her thoughtfulness made my heart swell, and I felt another twinge of annoyance that my family still hadn't confirmed their attendance. 2 weeks before the party, I called my parents again. "Dad, I really need to know if you're coming. I need to order food and finalize the cake size." "We're planning on it," he said, but something in his tone didn't sound convincing. "Your mother has been feeling a bit under the weather, but we should be fine by then." I called Amanda next. "The twins keep asking when they'll see Lily," I said, hoping to appeal to her maternal instinct. "We're trying to make it work," Amanda replied. "Brian might have a work thing that weekend, but we're seeing what we can do." Jack was similarly evasive, mentioning something about Emma possibly having a swimming lesson that might conflict. With just 1 week to go, I finalized the guest list with the school friends who had confirmed. 12 kids plus Lily, plus potentially 5 family members, my parents, Amanda's twins, and Jack's daughter Emma. Amanda and Brian had mentioned they might drop the kids off rather than staying, and Jack's wife Sarah was out of town that weekend. I ordered food accordingly: unicorn-shaped sandwiches, rainbow fruit skewers, vegetable platters with blue ranch dip, Lily's favourite pink lemonade, and various unicorn-themed snacks. I scheduled the cake pickup for the morning of the party. A 2-tier unicorn masterpiece with vanilla cake and strawberry filling decorated with pastel colours and a golden fondant horn. The day before the party, I took off work to prepare our small backyard. I hung streamers from the fence, set up a unicorn piñata, arranged a craft table where kids could make unicorn headbands, and created a pin the horn on the unicorn game board. I inflated a small bounce house rental, my big splurge for the occasion, and set up tables with unicorn tablecloths. That evening, I stayed up late baking unicorn-shaped cookies for the goodie bags and preparing make-ahead items for the party. By the time I fell into bed at 1:30 a.m., everything was ready except for the final food prep and cake pickup. On the morning of the party, Lily woke up practically vibrating with excitement. "Is today my unicorn party day, Mommy?" she asked the moment her eyes opened. "Yes, sweetheart. Happy birthday." I presented her with a special unicorn headband I had made just for her with an extra sparkly horn and flowers. We spent the morning setting up the final details. Lily proudly helped arrange the plates and cups, occasionally twirling in her new purple unicorn dress that she had chosen for the occasion. "When will Grandma and Grandpa get here? And Taylor and Ryan and Emma?" she asked repeatedly, looking at the clock, though she was still learning to tell time. "Soon, sweetie. They'll be here soon," I assured her, ignoring the knot of worry in my stomach as I checked my phone for any messages from my family. The cake pickup went smoothly, and I carefully placed the beautiful creation in the refrigerator until party time. By noon, everything was ready, and I finally sat down for a moment to rest before the festivities began. Lily stood by the window, watching for the first guests to arrive. Her excitement was palpable, and I said a silent prayer that my family wouldn't let her down. At 12:15 p.m., just under 2 hours before the party was set to begin, my phone rang. Seeing my father's name on the screen, I felt a wave of relief. They were probably calling to ask if they should bring anything or to confirm directions to our new apartment, which they'd only visited twice, since we moved in after the divorce. "Hey, Dad, are you on your way?" I asked cheerfully. There was a slight pause before he responded, his voice sounding oddly nasal. "Actually, Stella, that's why I'm calling. We're not going to make it today." My stomach dropped. "What?" "Why not? Lily's been talking about seeing everyone for weeks." "We've all come down with something," he explained, clearing his throat dramatically. "Some kind of summer flu. It hit us pretty hard yesterday. Your mother's in bed with a fever, and Amanda called this morning to say both twins are sick too." I frowned, pressing the phone closer to my ear. Something about his voice didn't sound right. He didn't sound sick. He sounded nervous. "That's strange. Amanda texted me yesterday about Lily's gift and didn't mention anything about the kids feeling unwell." "Well, it came on suddenly," Dad said quickly. "You know how these things spread through a family? Jack and Emma have it too." The coincidence seemed far too convenient. The entire extended family simultaneously sick on the exact day of Lily's party. "Dad, are you sure that's what's happening? Because if there's another reason you can't come, I'd rather know the truth. Lily will be devastated." "Of course I'm sure," he replied, an edge of irritation creeping into his voice. "Why would I make something like this up? We're all running fevers and the kids have been vomiting. Trust me, you don't want this at Lily's party." I noticed he didn't ask how Lily was feeling about turning 8 or mention the gift they supposedly had for her. There was none of the usual grandparent enthusiasm I'd expect, even from someone feeling under the weather. "Can I talk to Mom?" I asked, still suspicious. "She's sleeping right now. I don't want to wake her." "Well, could you maybe FaceTime with Lily later? Just for a few minutes to wish her happy birthday. She's been so excited about seeing her grandparents today." "We'll see how everyone's feeling," he replied noncommittally. "I should go check on your mother now." After we hung up, I stood in the kitchen, phone still in my hand, a sense of unease growing stronger. Within minutes, my phone chimed with a text from Amanda. "So sorry about the party. This bug is awful. The twins are so disappointed to miss seeing Lily. Hope she has a wonderful birthday, XO." The message seemed rehearsed too perfectly aligned with my father's story. I was about to respond when another call came through, this time from Amanda herself. "Hey," she said, her voice also carrying that strange quality that didn't sound genuinely ill. "Dad told you we're all sick, right? I just wanted to call and apologize directly." "Everyone got sick at exactly the same time. That's quite a coincidence," I replied, not bothering to hide my skepticism. "Well, we were all together at Mom and Dad's for dinner Thursday night," she said quickly. "Ryan started feeling bad that evening, and I guess we all caught it from him. You know how these stomach bugs spread? So it's a stomach bug now, not the flu." There was a pause. "I mean, I don't know exactly what it is. Some kind of virus. The point is, we're all really sick and can't make it today." In the background, I could hear what sounded like muffled voices and possibly music, not the quiet household of sick people she was describing. "Where are you right now, Amanda?" "At home, of course," she answered too quickly. "In bed, actually. Listen, I should go. Tell Lily we're sorry and we'll make it up to her soon." She hung up before I could ask any more questions, leaving me staring at my phone in confusion and growing anger. Whatever was happening, my family was clearly lying to me. I walked to the living room where Lily was arranging her stuffed animals for the party. Her favorite unicorn toy had the place of honor next to her chair. "Sweetheart," I said gently, sitting beside her, I need to tell you something about the party today." Her blue eyes looked up at me expectantly. "Grandma and Grandpa called, and it looks like they can't come to your party. They're not feeling well." Her face fell immediately. "Are they very sick?" "They say they are. And unfortunately, Aunt Amanda, Uncle Brian Taylor, Ryan, Uncle Jack, and Cousin Emma are all sick too." Lily's lower lip trembled. "All of them, but I made special goodie bags for Taylor and Ryan and Emma." "I know, sweetie, I'm so sorry." I pulled her into a hug as tears spilled down her cheeks. "But who will come to my party?" she whispered against my shoulder. "All your friends from school are still coming," I assured her, stroking her hair. "Madison and Zoe and Jacob and everyone else. We'll still have a wonderful unicorn party, I promise." She nodded against my chest, but I could feel her disappointment like a physical weight. I fought back my own tears, determined not to let her see how angry and hurt I felt. Whatever game my family was playing, I wouldn't let it ruin my daughter's special day. After Lily had calmed down and returned to her preparations with slightly less enthusiasm, I retreated to the kitchen and allowed myself a moment of pure rage. I gripped the counter until my knuckles turned white, breathing deeply to control the emotions threatening to overwhelm me. My phone chimed again, a text from my mother this time. "So sorry about today. Hope Lily understands. We'll bring her present next week when we're feeling better." Not a single question about how Lily was taking the news. Not even a happy birthday message for her granddaughter. Just another reinforcement of their collective lie. I didn't respond. Instead, I pulled myself together and focused on what needed to be done. I rearranged the tables to make the absence of family less obvious, put away the special name cards I had made for the cousins, and hid the extra goodie bags in the closet. As I worked, my mind raced with questions. What was the real reason they weren't coming? Where were they actually? Why go to such lengths to lie about it? None of it made sense, but I didn't have time to dwell on it. Lily's friends would be arriving soon, and I was determined to give her the best birthday party possible, with or without her extended family. At exactly 2:30 p.m., the doorbell rang for the first time. Lily, who had been watching through the window with diminishing enthusiasm, perked up slightly. "They're here, Mom," she called, her voice trying to recapture the excitement from earlier that morning. I put on my brightest smile as I opened the door to greet Madison and her mother Samantha. Madison immediately rushed to Lily with a large wrapped gift, while Samantha handed me a smaller package. "This is just a little something for the birthday, Mum," she said with a kind smile. "Running these parties is hard work." The gesture was so unexpected that I felt tears threatening. I blinked them back quickly and thanked her, placing the small gift on the side table to open later. Within 15 minutes, our small apartment was filled with the happy chaos of 8-year-olds. Jacob and his twin brother Joshua arrived with their dad, followed quickly by Zoe, Aiden, Emma Kay, not to be confused with cousin Emma Harper Lucas, Sophie, Olivia, Nathan, and Mia. 12 kids in total, plus Lily, just as planned. Most parents dropped off their children with quick goodbyes, but a few lingered to help set up or chat briefly. I was grateful for the adult company, however temporary, as it helped distract me from the conspicuous absence of my own family. "Where are the grandparents?" asked Lucas's mum casually as she helped me arrange the snack table. I remember meeting them at the school holiday concert. "They couldn't make it today," I replied, vaguely rearranging the unicorn-shaped sandwiches. "Family emergency." She nodded sympathetically and didn't press further, for which I was thankful. As the party got underway, I threw myself into the role of enthusiastic host. We started with a unicorn-themed scavenger hunt in the backyard, sending kids racing around, looking for unicorn horns, cone-shaped party hats hidden throughout the space. Lily began to genuinely smile as she helped her friends find the hidden treasures. Next came the craft table, where each child created their own unicorn headband with colourful felt ribbons and a paper horn I had pre-cut the night before. I moved from child to child, helping attach elastic bands and gluing loose pieces, all while keeping an eye on Lily. She was participating and smiling, but I noticed how occasionally her eyes would drift to the door, as if still hoping her grandparents or cousins might appear. Each time my heart broke a little more, and my anger toward my family deepened. Pin the horn on the unicorn brought peals of laughter as blindfolded children spun around and placed their sticky horns in ridiculous places, on the unicorn's rear end floating in the sky above it, or in one case on another child's back. Lily won the game, placing her horn almost perfectly, which brought a brief moment of pure joy to her face. The bounce house proved to be the biggest hit, with kids taking turns jumping and squealing with delight. I stood guard beside it, making sure no one got too rowdy when I felt a presence beside me. "You're doing an amazing job," said Jessica, Zoe's mother. I'd met her several times at school functions and always found her warm and approachable. "But you look like you could use a break. Why don't I watch the bounce house for a bit?" "Oh, you don't have to do that," I protested weakly. "You should go enjoy your Saturday." "I'm happy to help," she insisted. "Zoe's having a blast and I don't mind staying. Is everything okay? You seem a little stressed." Perhaps it was her genuine concern, or maybe I was just desperate for an adult to talk to, but I found myself confiding in her. My entire family cancelled at the last minute, claimed they're all simultaneously sick, but something doesn't add up. Jessica's expression shifted to one of indignation on my behalf. "All of them? That seems unlikely." "Exactly. And Lily was so excited to see her cousins." "Well, their loss," Jessica said firmly. "This is a fantastic party. I'm happy to stick around and help if you need an extra pair of hands." Her offer felt like the first genuine kindness I'd experienced all day, and I gratefully accepted. By the time we gathered for cake, Lily had recovered most of her enthusiasm. I lit the candles on the magnificent unicorn cake, and everyone sang happy birthday. As Lily closed her eyes to make her wish, I wondered what she was wishing for. Perhaps that her family had come after all. When she opened her eyes and blew out all 8 candles in one breath, everyone cheered. I cut generous slices of the vanilla and strawberry cake, delivering them to eager children, while Jessica helped serve the unicorn ice cream cups I'd prepared. "Time for presents," I announced once everyone had finished their cake. Lily sat in the special decorated chair and her friends gathered around as she opened each gift. Books about unicorns and magic craft kits, a science experiment set from Madison, a beautiful journal from Jessica and Zoe. Each present was met with genuine appreciation from Lily, who carefully set aside the cards to write thank you notes later, a tradition I'd started with her from her very first birthday. But there were no presents from grandparents, aunts, uncles, or cousins. No phone calls or even text messages wishing her happy birthday. Just the conspicuous absence of the people who should have cared the most. As the party wound down and parents began arriving to collect their children, Lily dutifully handed out the goodie bags she had so carefully prepared. Each child thanked her and wished her happy birthday one final time before leaving. The energy in the apartment gradually diminished until only Jessica and Zoe remained. "We can stay and help clean up," Jessica offered, already gathering discarded plates and cups. "You really don't have to," I said, though I was grateful for the offer. "I want to," she insisted. "Zoe can help Lily try out some of her new presents while we clean." As the girls settled in the living room with Lily's new craft kit, Jessica and I tackled the kitchen and backyard. We worked in companionable silence for a while before she spoke. "You know, my ex-husband's family did something similar to us last year," she said casually as she folded the unicorn tablecloth. Made excuses to miss Zoe's recital, then I saw Facebook photos of them at a baseball game the same day. "That's awful," I replied, feeling a kinship with this woman I barely knew. "How did you handle it?" I confronted them directly, showed them I knew they were lying. They made excuses, of course, but at least they knew they couldn't get away with it anymore. I nodded thoughtfully, wondering if I should do the same with my family. By the time Jessica and Zoe left, the apartment was clean, and Lily was exhausted, but content playing with her new toys on the living room floor. "Did you have a good birthday, sweetheart?" I asked, sitting beside her. She nodded, then hesitated. "I just wish Grandma and Grandpa and everyone could have come. Do you think they're feeling better yet?" The innocent question twisted in my heart. "I'm not sure, honey. Maybe we can call them tomorrow to check." "Okay," she agreed easily. "Madison said her mom could take us to the park with them tomorrow if we want. Can we go?" "That sounds like a wonderful idea," I said, grateful for this new potential friendship for both of us. Later that night, after Lily had fallen asleep surrounded by her new treasures, I sat alone on the couch with a glass of wine. The apartment was quiet, the remnants of the party packed away. Only then did I allow myself to fully feel the hurt and anger that had been simmering all day. My family had collectively lied to avoid my daughter's birthday. Whatever their reason, it was a betrayal I couldn't easily forgive. As I sipped my wine, I resolved to discover the truth, whatever it might be. 3 days after Lily's party, life had returned to its normal rhythm. I was back at work at the pediatric ward, Lily was attending her summer day camp, and the birthday excitement had faded. I hadn't heard from any family members, except for a brief text from my mother asking how the party went, to which I gave a non-committal "fine" in response. That evening, after putting Lily to bed, I settled on the couch with my laptop to pay some bills and catch up on emails. Almost as an afterthought, I opened Instagram to see photos from a colleague's recent wedding. As I scrolled through my feed, a post from Amanda stopped me cold. My sister wasn't a frequent social media user, typically posting only major life events or holiday photos. But there it was, posted just an hour ago, a beach photo with a location tag for Paradise Resort Cancun, and dated July 15th, the exact day of Lily's party. The image showed my entire sick family on a pristine white beach, my parents smiling broadly in lounge chairs, Amanda and Brian, with their arms around the twins who were building a sandcastle, and Jack helping Emma construct what looked like a moat around it. Everyone looked perfectly healthy, tanned and happy. The caption read, "Perfect family vacation, so grateful for this time together. A family first, #making memories, #beachway." I stared at the screen in disbelief, my hands shaking with a mixture of shock and rage. They hadn't been sick at all. They had been on a family vacation, a vacation that deliberately excluded Lily and me. I zoomed in on the image, taking in every detail. My mother wore a new sun hat I'd never seen before. The twins were sporting matching swimsuits with the resort logo. My father held a tropical drink, complete with a tiny umbrella. Every pixel of the image radiated joy and togetherness. A stark contrast to how Lily had felt when they'd claimed to be too ill to attend her birthday. Quickly, I took screenshots of the post, sensing Amanda might delete it once she realized her mistake. Then I began checking other social media accounts. Sure enough, there on my brother Jack's rarely used Facebook page was another photo from the same day, the whole family at a beachfront restaurant raising glasses in a toast. The timestamp showed it was posted at almost the exact time Lily had been blowing out her birthday candles. I dug deeper, scrolling back through older posts I might have missed. There it was, 3 weeks ago, a vague post from my mother about finalizing summer plans, with a comment from Amanda about, "Can't wait for our special trip." Now the evasive responses about Lily's party made perfect sense. They had planned this vacation well in advance, deliberately scheduling it to coincide with her birthday. But why exclude us so deliberately, and why lie about being sick, rather than just admitting they had a vacation planned? As I continued searching, more pieces fell into place. A post from Brian, Amanda's husband, showed a larger group at the resort, including, I felt sick as I realized, David and Veronica. My ex-husband and his girlfriend had joined my family on their secret vacation. In one photo, David had his arm around my mother, both of them laughing. Another showed Veronica helping Taylor build her sandcastle. They looked comfortable together, like this wasn't the first time they'd all socialized as a group. The betrayal hit me like a physical blow. My family hadn't just chosen a vacation over Lily's birthday. They had chosen my ex-husband and the woman he'd cheated with over us. The people who should have loved and protected Lily had deliberately excluded her to spend time with the man who had broken our family apart. I closed my laptop, unable to look at the images any longer. My mind raced with questions and realizations. How long had this been going on? Had there been other gatherings I didn't know about? How could they do this to an innocent child? My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of small footsteps. I looked up to see Lily standing in the hallway, her stuffed unicorn clutched against her nightgown. "Mommy, I had a bad dream," she said, rubbing her eyes sleepily. I quickly composed myself, setting the laptop aside. "Come here, sweetheart. Do you want to talk about it?" She climbed onto the couch and curled against me. I dreamed that everyone forgot about me. Even Grandma and Grandpa forgot who I was. The painful irony of her dream wasn't lost on me. I held her closer, stroking her hair. "That would never happen, Lily. You are unforgettable and so, so loved." "Then why didn't they come to my party if they love me?" she asked in a small voice. I froze, wondering if she had somehow seen the photos on my laptop. "What do you mean, sweetie, If Grandma and Grandpa and everyone were really sick, they would have called to say happy birthday, right? Even when I had the chicken pox, you still let me talk to Madison on the phone for her birthday." My heart broke at her simple logic. Even at 8 years old, she had figured out something wasn't right. "Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes," I said carefully. "But I promise you, your mum will never forget about you or stop loving you. Never." She seemed satisfied with that answer and soon fell back asleep against me. I carried her back to bed, tucking the unicorn beside her and kissing her forehead. Returning to the living room, I called Jessica despite the late hour. To my relief, she answered. "I'm sorry to call so late," I began, "but I needed someone to talk to. You were right about my family lying." I explained what I'd discovered, my voice shaking with emotion. "That's beyond terrible. Jessica said, outrage clear in her voice. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know yet," I admitted. "But I can't let them get away with hurting Lily like this." She already sensed something was wrong. We talked for nearly an hour, Jessica offering support and practical advice. By the time we hung up, I had the beginnings of a plan. I would confront my family with evidence of their lies, but first I needed time to process my own feelings and decide exactly how to proceed. As I finally went to bed that night, I felt a strange mixture of pain and clarity. Something fundamental had shifted in my understanding of my family relationships, and I knew things would never be the same again. A week passed after my devastating discovery. I hadn't immediately confronted my family, choosing instead to process my feelings and consider my options carefully. During that week, I received a text from my mother asking if she could drop off Lily's birthday present, as they were feeling much better now. The blatant continuation of the lie only strengthened my resolve. On Saturday morning, when Lily was having a playdate with Zoe at Jessica's house, I finally gathered my courage and called my parents' home phone. My mother answered on the third ring. "Hello." "Hi, Mom," I said, keeping my voice neutral. "How was Cancun?" There was a long pause. "What?" "Paradise Resort looks beautiful in the photos. The weather must have been perfect for the beach." Another pause, longer this time. "I don't know what you're talking about, Stella." The fact that she was continuing the lie even when directly confronted made my blood boil. I fought to keep my voice steady. I saw Amanda's Instagram post, Mum, and Jack's Facebook photos. The whole family vacation at Paradise Resort in Cancun on Lily's birthday. "Oh," she said simply. Then after a moment, "We were going to tell you about that. Gee. When after you dropped off the present from your non-existent illness, or were you planning to keep lying indefinitely? Now, Stella," my mother's tone shifted to the one she'd always used when she thought I was being unreasonable. "There's no need to be dramatic. Yes, we went on a family vacation. It was planned months ago before we knew about Lily's party." "That's another lie," I said flatly. "I told everyone about her birthday 5 weeks in advance. You could have said you had a trip planned. Instead, you all pretended to be sick." "We didn't want to hurt your feelings," she offered weakly. "So you chose to hurt Lily's instead, to make an 8-year-old child feel like her entire extended family couldn't be bothered to show up for her birthday. How is that better?" "It wasn't just a regular vacation," my mother said, her voice defensive now. "It was special family time. Special family time that included my ex-husband and the woman he cheated with, but not your own granddaughter." The words came out sharper than I intended, but I couldn't hold back anymore. I saw the photos with David and Veronica too. There was a sharp intake of breath on the other end of the line. "You need to understand, Stella, David is still part of this family. The divorce was between you two, not between him and the rest of us. And Veronica, the woman he cheated with, is she family too now?" "She makes David happy," my mother replied, as if that explained everything. "And she's very good with the twins. Amanda and Brian really like her." Each word felt like a fresh betrayal. I thought of Lily excited about her unicorn cake and special day, while her grandparents were building sandcastles with the woman who had helped destroy her parents' marriage. "I need to speak with Dad," I said, my voice tight with controlled anger. "He's not available right now," my mother replied quickly. "Then I'll call back later. Or better yet, I'll call Amanda." "Stella, wait." But I had already hung up. I immediately dialed my sister's number. Not surprised when it went to voicemail. I didn't leave a message. Instead, I texted her, "I saw your Cancun photos. We need to talk." Within minutes, my phone rang. Amanda calling back. "Before you start," she said immediately, not bothering with a greeting, "the vacation was planned for months. We couldn't change it. You could have told the truth instead of pretending everyone was sick. Mum thought it would be easier that way. Easier for whom? Not for Lily, who spent her birthday wondering why her family didn't care enough to even call her." "Don't be so melodramatic," Amanda sighed. "It's just one birthday. She'll have plenty more." Her dismissive attitude made something snap inside me. "Were the twins there in Cancun?" "Of course they were," Amanda replied, sounding confused by the question. "And did they enjoy spending time with their Uncle David?" There was a pause. "Yes, they love David. You know that. So you made sure your children had their uncle at a luxury resort while deliberately excluding your niece from a family vacation on her birthday. Do you realize how cruel that sounds?" "It wasn't like that," Amanda protested. "David helped organize the trip. He got us a group discount through his company. And that makes it okay to lie to me and hurt Lily. Look, Stella, I'm sorry the timing overlapped with Lily's party, But you need to get over this victim mentality. The divorce happened 3 years ago. Everyone else has moved on. Maybe it's time you did too." Her words left me speechless with anger, as if my objection to their lies was just me being difficult or unable to move on from the divorce. "This isn't about the divorce," I finally managed. "This is about you and everyone else deliberately excluding Lily and lying about it. She's an innocent child who loves her family and deserved better than this." "Well, maybe if you were more flexible about David being part of family gatherings, this wouldn't have happened," Amanda shot back. "But you always make everything so uncomfortable with your attitude toward him and Veronica." "My attitude?" "He cheated on me with his secretary. It's straight out of a bad movie. These things happen, Stella. Adults find ways to be civil. The rest of us have managed to maintain relationships with both of you." I took a deep breath, realizing this conversation was going nowhere. "I need to talk to Jack. He's not going to tell you anything different," Amanda said smugly. "We'll see." I hung up and immediately called my brother. Unlike Amanda, Jack answered on the first ring. "Hey, Stell," he said cautiously. "I guess you saw the photos." "Yes, I did. Want to tell me what's going on?" Jack sighed heavily. "Look, I didn't agree with how this was handled. I wanted to tell you about the trip directly." "But you didn't," I pointed out. "Instead, you lied about being sick just like everyone else." "I know, and I'm sorry. I got outvoted." "Outvoted? This wasn't a democracy, Jack. This was about being honest with family." There was a long pause before Jack spoke again, his voice lower. "You want the truth. The whole trip was David's idea. He arranged everything through his company, got a great group rate at the resort. He invited Mum and Dad first, then Amanda and her family. I was actually the last to be included. And no one thought to include Lily and me, his own daughter. He said it would be awkward with you there, that you still get emotional around him and Veronica. So my discomfort seeing my ex-husband with his affair partner was more important to everyone than including Lily in a family vacation." "It wasn't just that," Jack admitted reluctantly. "David paid for a big portion of the trip. For Mum and Dad's part especially. They couldn't have afforded it otherwise." The pieces clicked into place. My family had chosen a luxury vacation funded by my ex-husband over their own granddaughter's birthday. They had prioritized free accommodations over Lily's feelings. "Thanks for being honest, Jack," I said, my voice hollow. "At least one person in this family still values the truth." After hanging up, I sat in stunned silence, processing everything I'd learned. The joint investment account Brian had set up suddenly popped into my mind. If my family could lie so easily about something as important as Lily's birthday, what else might they be hiding? I logged into my online banking and navigated to the joint account information. According to the statement, the account now held $42,380, having grown modestly over the past 2 years. Each family member could access the funds for approved family expenses, though major withdrawals required majority agreement. I had contributed $2,000 to the account. Money from my divorce settlement that I could have used for many other things. Money that was supposed to be growing to help with Lily's future education. Money that was now tied up with people who had shown they didn't consider Lily a priority. With sudden clarity, I knew what I needed to do. I called my bank and made an appointment for later that afternoon to discuss my options. Then I called Jessica to ask if Lily could stay a bit longer while I handled some important business. At the bank, I met with a financial advisor named Michael, who listened patiently as I explained the situation. "So you want to remove your portion from this joint family investment account," he clarified. "Yes, plus any interest it's earned. I contributed $2,000 initially." Michael reviewed the account details carefully. "According to our records, you're listed as one of the account holders with equal authorization rights. That means you can withdraw funds without additional signatures. Even though I didn't contribute as much as the others. The account was set up with equal access rights regardless of contribution amounts," he explained. "However, given the family nature of this account, I would normally recommend discussing any withdrawal with the other account holders first." "Under normal circumstances, I would agree," I said firmly. "But that's not possible in this situation." Michael nodded professionally. "In that case, you have several options. You can withdraw only your initial $2,000 plus calculated interest, or you could technically withdraw more, since you have full access rights. However, I should note that taking more than your contribution could potentially lead to legal complications. I only want what's fairly mine," I assured him. my contribution plus appropriate interest. After some calculations, Michael determined that my $2,000 had grown to approximately $2,340 with interest. He prepared the paperwork for the withdrawal and transfer to my personal account. "There's one more thing," I said as he was finishing the transaction. "I want to remove myself completely from this joint account." "That's possible, but it would require closing the entire account and redistributing the funds," Michael explained. "As an authorized account holder, you do have the right to initiate account closure, but it would affect everyone involved." I considered this information carefully. The account had been Brian's idea ostensibly to build wealth together as a family. But what kind of family lies to a child on her birthday, to go on vacation with the man who broke up her parents' marriage? "What happens to the funds if I close the account?" I asked. "They would be distributed according to the closure instructions you provide. We could issue separate checks to each account holder based on their contribution percentages or transfer the funds to new individual accounts." I thought about Lily's disappointed face when she realized her family wasn't coming to her birthday. I thought about the photos of them laughing on a beach while she blew out her candles alone. I thought about 3 years of trying to maintain family connections, despite their increasing closeness with David and Veronica. "Close the account," I said decisively, "and please distribute the funds according to the original contribution percentages." Michael looked surprised but proceeded to prepare the necessary paperwork. By the time I left the bank, the joint account was closed. My $2,340 had been transferred to my personal account, and the remaining $40 would be distributed proportionally to my parents Amanda and Brian and Jack, based on their initial contributions. As I drove to pick up Lily from Jessica's house, I felt a strange mixture of grief and liberation. I had taken a decisive step to protect my daughter's interests and my own dignity. The fallout would likely be significant, but for the first time in years, I felt like I was standing up for what truly mattered. When I arrived at Jessica's, Lily ran to me with a bright smile. "Mom, Zoe and I made friendship bracelets. Look." She proudly displayed a colourful braided bracelet on her wrist, matching the one on Zoe's arm. "It's beautiful, sweetheart," I said, genuinely happy to see her joy. "Did you have a good time?" "The best. Can Zoe come to our house next weekend?" I exchanged smiles with Jessica over the girls' heads. "Absolutely. We'd love to have her." As we drove home, I realized that while one family connection was fraying beyond repair, new ones were forming, healthier ones based on genuine care rather than obligation or shared history. My phone began ringing almost immediately after we arrived home. First Brian, then my father, then Amanda, all likely having received notifications about the closed account. I silenced my phone, determined to enjoy the evening with Lily before dealing with the inevitable confrontation. The emails began arriving shortly after, urgent messages demanding explanations. I ignored those too, helping Lily with her reading homework and then watching a movie together with popcorn and cuddles on the couch. It wasn't until the next morning, after Lily had left for day camp, that I composed a single email addressed to my parents, Amanda and Brian and Jack. "As you have no doubt discovered, I have closed our joint investment account. Your portions have been returned to you based on your original contributions. My portion will be placed in a separate account for Lily's education. I cannot continue financial entanglements with people who would deliberately exclude my daughter from family events and lie about the reason. The trust necessary for joint financial arrangements has been irreparably damaged. Stella." The response was immediate and explosive. My phone rang continuously for hours. Text messages poured in, ranging from my mother's hurt confusion to Amanda's outright rage. Brian sent a particularly scathing email about financial irresponsibility and overreaction. I read each message but responded to none. They had made their choice when they lied about being sick to avoid Lily's birthday. Now I was making mine. The weeks following the account closure were chaotic. My parents showed up unannounced at my apartment the very next day, demanding to speak with me. I met them in the lobby to avoid upsetting Lily. "How could you do this without talking to us first?" My father demanded, his face flushed with anger. That account was for all the grandchildren's futures. Just like the family vacation was for all the family, I countered. You made your priorities clear when you chose a free trip with David over Lily's birthday. "That's not fair," my mother interjected, her voice trembling. "We love Lily. One missed birthday doesn't change that." "It wasn't just missing the birthday," I explained, trying to keep my voice level. It was the elaborate lie you all created. It was seeing photos of you building sandcastles with Veronica, while Lily cried because her grandparents were too sick to come to her party. My parents exchanged uncomfortable glances. We never meant for you to see those photos, my mother admitted, which only made things worse. So your plan was to lie to us indefinitely, to pretend the vacation never happened. We were going to tell you eventually, my father said weakly. When after, how many more family events that mysteriously didn't include us? How many more lies were you planning to tell? Neither of them had a good answer for that. The money, my father finally said, returning to his original concern. Brian says you've cost everyone thousands in future growth by closing that account prematurely. I've cost everyone, I repeated incredulously. That's what concerns you right now, not the fact that you hurt your granddaughter or lied to your daughter. The conversation went nowhere from there. My parents left still angry, seemingly unable to grasp why their actions had been so hurtful. The confrontation with Amanda was even worse. She posted a lengthy rant on Facebook about toxic family members and financial betrayal without naming me directly, but making it obvious who she meant. When several mutual friends messaged me asking what was happening, I chose not to engage in the public drama. Instead, I focused on creating a stable, loving environment for Lily. We spent more time with Jessica and Zoe, developing a friendship that felt more supportive than my family relationships had in years. We started weekend hiking trips in nearby state parks, found a community garden where we could volunteer together, and joined a local book club for parents and children. Through it all, I was careful not to disparage my family to Lily. When she asked why we hadn't seen Grandma and Grandpa lately, I simply explained that we were taking some time apart while the adults worked through some disagreements. Like when Madison and I had that fight about the swing set, she asked, referencing a playground dispute from months earlier. Something like that? I agreed. Sometimes even grown-ups need time to figure things out. Unexpectedly, Jack reached out to me about a month after the account closure. Unlike the others, his message wasn't accusatory. Can we talk? His text read simply, "We met for coffee at a neutral location, both of us slightly awkward at first. I wanted to say I understand why you did it," he began after we'd settled at a corner table. "The account thing, I mean. I probably would have done the same in your position." "Thank you," I said, surprised by his support. I didn't expect anyone to see it from my perspective. "I've been thinking a lot about the vacation and everything." Jack continued, turning his coffee cup in his hands. "The whole thing felt wrong from the start. I should have stood up, more insisted we include you and Lily, or at least tell you the truth." "Why didn't you?" I asked, not accusingly but genuinely curious. Jack sighed. "Honestly, it was easier to go along with what everyone else wanted. Dad's been helping me with the down payment for a house, and I didn't want to rock the boat. It's not an excuse, just the truth." His honesty was refreshing after weeks of defensive responses from the rest of the family. "I miss Lily," he admitted. "Emma keeps asking when she can see her cousin again." "Lily misses Emma too," I acknowledged. "But I need to know that my daughter won't be hurt like that again." "I get it. And for what it's worth, I've told Mom and Dad and Amanda that they were wrong, that we all were. They're not ready to hear it yet, but maybe eventually." That conversation marked the beginning of a slow reconciliation with Jack. We arranged a playdate for Lily and Emma the following weekend, careful to keep it just between our two families, without involving my parents or Amanda. 6 months after the birthday party incident, Lily and I celebrated her half-birthday with a small gathering at our apartment. Jessica and Zoe came along with Jack and Emma and a few friends from school. It wasn't elaborate, just cupcakes and games, but Lily's face glowed with happiness as she was surrounded by people who genuinely wanted to be there. That same week, I received a letter in the mail. An actual paper letter, not an email or text. It was from my parents, the handwriting unmistakably my mother's. "Dear Stella," it began. "We've had a lot of time to think about what happened, and we realize now how much we hurt both you and Lily. The vacation was a mistake, but the lies were unforgivable. We miss you both terribly and would like the chance to apologize in person if you're willing to meet with us." The letter went on to explain that they had been too proud to admit their mistake initially, and then too embarrassed as time went on. The final paragraph mentioned that David was no longer welcome at family gatherings after they'd discovered he had been manipulating the situation to deliberately exclude Lily and me. I read the letter several times, uncertain how to respond. Part of me wanted to reject their overture to protect Lily and myself from further hurt. but another part recognized the courage it took to acknowledge their mistakes and reach out. After discussing it with my therapist, whom I'd started seeing shortly after discovering the vacation photos, I decided to allow a carefully managed re-entry into our lives. We met my parents at a neutral location, a park with a playground where Lily could play within my sight, but not have to participate in the adult conversation immediately. The reunion was tentative and awkward at first. My parents seemed genuinely remorseful, though they still didn't fully grasp the depth of the hurt they'd caused. We agreed to very limited supervised visits, moving forward with clear boundaries about their relationship with David and discussions of him in Lily's presence. Amanda remained distant, unwilling to acknowledge any wrongdoing on her part. Her husband Brian had apparently been particularly upset about the investment account closure, believing he could have grown the money more significantly if given more time. Their children still occasionally asked about Lily, according to my mother, but Amanda made no effort to reconnect. As for me, the whole experience had been transformative. I had discovered a strength I didn't know I possessed. The courage to stand up for myself and my child, even when it meant challenging lifelong relationships. I had learned that family isn't just about blood connections, but about how people treat each other. Most importantly, I had shown Lily that she deserved respect and honesty, and that it was okay to create boundaries with people who couldn't provide that, even family. The joint account money I had withdrawn was now in a separate education fund for Lily growing steadily. I'd also started a small emergency fund with my nursing overtime pay, building financial independence and security for our future. One evening, as Lily and I walked home from the community garden with fresh vegetables for dinner, she slipped her hand into mine and looked up thoughtfully. Mum is Grandma, and Grandpa's house still our family, or is Jessica and Zoe more our family now? The question caught me off guard with its insightfulness. I squeezed her hand gently. Family can mean different things, sweetheart. Sometimes the people we're related to by blood are our family, but sometimes the people who show up for us, who love us consistently and honestly, they become our family too, even if we don't share the same last name. Lily nodded, seemingly satisfied with this answer. I think we have both kinds then, but I like our chosen family best. Out of the mouths of babes comes wisdom that adults struggle years to achieve. As we continued our walk home, I reflected on how my daughter's birthday betrayal had ultimately led us to a more authentic understanding of family, one based on actions rather than obligations, on respect rather than history, on love rather than convenience. True family, I had learned, isn't about who shares your DNA or who has known you longest. It's about who shows up when it matters, who tells the truth even when it's difficult, and who prioritizes your well-being above their own comfort. Sometimes we're lucky enough to have both kinds in our lives. And sometimes we need to build our chosen family one trustworthy relationship at a time. Have you ever had to create boundaries with family members who betrayed your trust? How did you handle explaining complex family situations to your children? Please share your experiences in the comments below, and if this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might need to hear that it's okay to prioritize your child's well-being over toxic family relationships. Thank you for being part of this journey, and remember, sometimes the family we choose is the greatest gift we can give ourselves and our children.